Constellation Class, Starfleet Registry NCC 2893.
Hey guys, Geeky J here, and back with another commentary video for Star Trek The Next Generation. This time it'll be on Season 1, Episode 9 of, well, obviously The Next Generation, episode called The Battle. So let's go ahead and get started. Remember to hit play when I say play. 3, 2, 1, play. 41723.9. Zindi Sabu, that's an interesting name. I was close, I almost, well, I didn't minimize it, but I came back really quickly. And I cut the sound out for a second. Is this Picard's office? It's a different angle than I'm normally used to seeing it at. That would be awesome, never to get headaches. I wonder why they don't get headaches. Exactly. Hmm. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Damon? Okay, so this is the second time we see the Ferengi. And I don't really remember if we see them again at all until DS9. I'm curious as to why there's such a white light behind the Ferengi. Is it because they just didn't feel like building a set for the interior of the ship, or that's just where they take their videos? Yep, very, very dangerous. These comedic Ferengis. But actually, this is a pretty sinister plan by the Ferengi. Does anyone know what the tattoos on the Ferengi mean? Yeah, I was reading in this episode, obviously, like I said, is the second time we see the Ferengi, but Rick Berman thought that they still didn't make a decent major adversary. So, a little summary on this episode, or a synopsis. Like I said, it's called The Battle. The Enterprise has kept waiting for days on a mysterious rendezvous with Ferengi Damon Bach's ship, then receives a gift which stuns Picard. I can give you a better synopsis than that. When a group of Ferengi present Captain Picard with the derelict remains of his old starship, he begins to lose himself in the past. That's a better uh, synopsis of the whole episode without spoiling too much. Well, I'm not really too worried about spoilers. The show's so old. And plus, if you're watching this video or listening to this video, You've already seen the episode. So the Stargazer, which we see a little later on, it was originally going to be a Constitution class starship, like Kirk's Enterprise, but the production team decided they wanted something uh, more special. So they named the Constellation class for the Stargazer was chosen because it could be easily redubbed over Geordi saying Constitution class. So that's why it's a Constellation class instead of a Constitution class. No, so she had Picard report right after. I'm glad they finally cured that thing, the common cold. So actually, that wasn't Picard's office. That was his quarters. So we get the characteristic starbase painting, bookshelves, and the sextant. Sounds sexy, the sextant. Oh, look at Wesley. Okay, so this is the first time we see Wesley wearing the rainbow striped shirt, and it's one he'll wear for every other scene the rest of the season. It's better than the space sweater. So at around 8 minutes, coming up real soon, we should see a boom microphone visible when Picard is introducing his officers to the Ferengi on the bridge. So look for that. I wonder why Beverly didn't just obviously take him to sick bay first off to begin with to sleep so that she could keep an eye on his condition and run more tests. And so when the Ferengi beam over, also look to show that the crew has their hands at parade rest after they come back. See, did you see that? Yeah, they were originally behind their backs and then they were at parade rest. I don't see a boom mic. If you guys saw it, let me know. I like when they have. Well, I don't like it, but it's just nice to. It's just interesting or funny to see. Uh, interesting or funny to see in shows. Should be a little alarmed. We all know. Hmm. Deliberately attacked. Yep. Should have definitely taken him to sick bay. Come on now, you guys have to know something's going on. Maxia. So this is a right again. It's a constellation class. It's a cool name for a ship, Stargazer. Yeah, I wonder why the Ferengi wear those furs. Yeah, these Ferengi are very comedic. So apparently in the novel, The Buried Age, it establishes that the course Picard set for the Stargazer was to have taken the ship into the atmosphere of a nearby gas giant, thereby destroying it. But the crew escaped in the ship's shuttlecraft, and the Stargazer somehow bounced off the planet's atmosphere and was drifting near the planet when Bach arrived and took possession of it and began plotting against Picard. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that this was directed by Rob Bowman. This episode was. Hmm. Yep, definitely should have him in sick bay, Beverly. Okay, so the feud between Picard and Bach will be revisited later on. I really don't remember the Ferengi coming in after this season. Two places at once. And this is the Picard maneuver, I think is what they're talking about. But we all know that's actually used off screen to refer to Patrick Stewart tugging on his uniform anytime he sits down, or whenever it rides up. Maurice Hurley, he said that the episode was pretty good because of Patrick Stewart's performance, especially on the Stargazer. And he said he didn't feel the Ferengi worked as an adversary at all. Larry Forster's script. Oh, hold on, let me tell you about this. A blooper exists from this episode on a gag reel where, as Data walks through and he reads the plaque, uh, he reads it using a imitation of James Stewart's voice, and then saying, "For God's sakes, Mary, they built this thing in Bedford Falls." So that's interesting if you can find that. It's probably really funny. But Larry Forster's script, um, it it would be his second for Next Generation, and it would be his second for the Next Generation, and originally featured several scenes on the Ferengi ship, which would have been interesting to see. I would have liked that. That just so we could explore their culture more. But we do that in DS9, just not with the ships, which I thought would be really fun. But those were ultimately cut before filming. In Bedford Falls. So the bridge of the Stargazer is actually a redress of the Enterprise D's battle bridge from Star Trek The Next Generation Encounter at Farpoint, which in turn was also a redress of the movie Enterprise Bridge. These the TNG chairs were and con slash op stations were changed with Kirk's command chair and combined navigation helm station from Star Trek The Voyage Home. We also see the turbolift interior from the first three Star Trek films. Yep, he should definitely be back. Yeah, I really wish we did get to see the interior of the Ferengi ship. That would have been interesting. Frank Cosentino has played three different roles in Star Trek. He played Bach in TNG, Tog in TNG Menage a Troy, and Gigas in Voyager. And this, I forgot to tell you too, this episode first aired November 14th, 1987. Duh, Troy. You have the bridge. Then say it. Don't just wish it. Say it. So apparently there's a goof where after the Enterprise discovers the drifting USS Stargazer, there's a space shot of the Enterprise with the Stargazer just a few hundred meters below it. But in the next space shot, the Stargazer is shown by itself with the Enterprise nowhere near it. It's kind of like they're inflicting PTSD on Picard. Also, when Picard destroys Damon Bach's mind control device, we'll see that later on. It's obvious that there's a stunt double. The double goes backwards from the blast. You can see the side of his face and above the neck area are obscured from the camera angle. And Picard introduced Data as his second in command, but Riker is the second in command. He meant that Data was his second officer. Also, it is stated later in the series overall that Betazoids can't read the minds of species with uncommon brain anatomy, and that's including the Ferengi. But Deanna is obviously able to sense deception in the Ferengi in this episode. Mm-hmm. Relax, don't do it. It's a confession. Obviously fake. I think Picard's quarters earlier on in the episode were interesting. I don't think we get. You know what? I could be totally wrong about that. I'm not going to say it, but I think we do get it more than I'm thinking. We do get to see it more than I am thinking. We do. It's obvious it's pretty hard to talk in those teeth. You literally are. Fade to black. Who the hell is it? Rude. Oh, you need some Earl Grey tea. Hot. Actually, it's tea Earl Grey hot, I think. I wonder how that thing focuses in on Picard. That would give anybody a headache. It's annoying. That's an annoying sound. Headaches suck. Yep, it's obviously a plot by the Ferengi. You are Beverly. I mean, it's obviously altered. It's by the Ferengi Picard. Do we see the collections? No, Picard, you're not. But I think Picard acts this episode really well. You can see the worry on his face, the frustration, and it's not overacted either. Like you believe he's just hamming it up for the camera. I wonder why they just don't force the Ferengi vessel out of the area. Space is a big place. They don't need to be right beside them. I wonder what those things do. I couldn't sleep. Do you guys sleep face up? I can't do it. It's horrible. I could not fall asleep that way. Especially with those things on my head. I wonder what would happen if they just warped away from the Ferengi. Does anyone know what keeps like asteroids or asteroid fields from hitting the ship when they're traveling in warp? Sir, comment below if you know what keeps the ship from being hit. Is it just the shields, or wouldn't that always reduce the shields if that were the case? The Ferengi have horrible teeth. They're like not even, they're not jagged. Some of them are jagged and some of them are like rounded. I originally thought about using this photo as the thumbnail, but I changed it. How they do the ghost is pretty interesting. And the fire. Okay, got the discrepancies. Yep, looks uncharacteristically happy. Obviously, something's wrong, like when he was taken over by that electricity thing earlier in the season. Oh, Picard. Come on, Beverly, if you have information and it's sensitive like this, you need to go ahead and tell Riker. Oh, come on, Beverly, you could have told Riker. Shouldn't release her. They continued the tradition of ships being her in space. And as in, ships are traditionally regarded as hers or females on Earth. Strange thing, Troy. Oh, Wednesday Rainbow. So they're all just uniform colors, though, right? And I find it interesting that uh, Beverly wears the coat over her uniform. So that was actually one of Will Wheaton's least favorite Wesley episode of all, or moment of all time, because he tells his mother and Troy about what's been causing Picard's strange behavior, easily solving the episode's problems, but none of the rest of the cast have any clues, and then says, "Hey, adults," like huh, adults, without thanking him. But Wheaton thinks the episode overall is solid, in large part due to Rob Bowman's direction and Patrick Stewart and Frank Corsento's performances. Well, that sucks. That's why Beverly should have said something immediately. You shouldn't let protocol get in the way of things that need to happen, or information that could change the very structure of command. That noise. I wonder if they probably intentionally made the noise horrible sounding. Uh-oh. Nope. He should have said something. He shouldn't have attacked. You guys think Picard did the right thing? I mean, you we don't really have a lot of information, but based on what we do you think he did the right thing? Dang, that's a lot of profit. Moving away. Answer Picard. Fully armed. Hadn't yet unpacked. So, Picard, earlier Picard looked into his trunk that contained some of his possessions, uh, as if they had been packed. Picard has been forced to abandon the Stargazer so quickly it was very unlikely he had time to pack anything. And if he had had time, he would have taken those things with him. Mm-hmm. Mm. Hmm. This is what happened on the Stargazer. That's pretty cool. Vigo. It'd be cool if they did like an overlay of Picard when he was younger, but I can see why they wouldn't do that. Oh, that opening, I used it in the video that of Data. I thought was interesting. I'll put another one after that I thought was funny. Devise a devise a defense fast, Data. But really, since let's see. So again, look out for that stunt double for Patrick Stewart when Picard destroys the Demon Box mind control device. Hmm. Very confident they is. So the Enterprise locks a tractor beam onto the Stargazer while its shields are up. But that's okay because what usually disrupts the tractor beam is a remodulation of the shields, not the shields themselves. So the Picard maneuver involves using a warp speed jump to create an illusion of two ships existing at once. Um, that way you confuse your enemies so they don't know which is the real ship. But it only involves a single warp speed jump from one location to another. So any person familiar with the maneuver should know to simply defend against the first or against the second ship because the ship that automatically appears is the one that exists at its present location. If he had done multiple jumps, that'd be more confusing. All right, let's see if the stunt double. Intense music. Music intensifies. Oh, see stunt double, yeah. Oh, it's such an obvious stunt double. That's funny though. Couldn't see his face. Yes, number one. Hmm. Yeah, should have had profit. It'd be okay. Its active personal visits would have been okay if they profited from it. That's why I should have demanded something from the Enterprise crew for the Stargazer. Could have probably gotten away with it. But he never lowered the shields. So how could they beam him over? Ah, that's fine. Alright, guys, so that was that episode. Season 1, Episode 9, The Battle. Overall, I enjoyed it. It's pretty interesting. There, I used the word "pre" again. It's really interesting, I guess. Um, uh, I like the acting from Picard and and the Ferengi leader. That was probably the best part of the episode. But let me know what you guys thought of it, this episode. Is it your favorite so far? Which one was? Alright, guys. Appreciate you watching. Enjoy this little clip after. See you guys later. Bye.
Yes, who the hell is it?